Hello, I'm Talon the Tam BOTC channel, and let's talk about the Spider-Man movies. There was some things I forgot to talk about in the Dark Knight. These aren't really reviews, but I did want to mention something I thought was interesting. Whenever I think about the Dark Knight trilogy, I think of the Silent Hill games as well, where the first game and movie a have a threat that returns in the third installment of the series, which Silent Hill deals with the cult and Dahlia, and then there's in Batman Begins it would be Ra's al Ghul in the League of Shadows, and in the second game slash movie, it's a unique story its own with unique characters and everything, and it's probably the one of the best told in video game history slash movie history. And then you got the third one, which is a return of an old threat, which is the cult returns in the third game, and the League of Shadows returns in the movie. But it's different villains. You got Talia al Ghul, and even though she's related to the one from the first one, and you got Bane, where in the Silent Hill 3, it's a new cult leader. So, yeah, I forgot her name though. But yeah, it was just an interesting thing I wanted to say for that. But we're not here to talk about that. We're here to talk about Spider Man, how I felt going into the Sam Raimi movies originally. I love these movies, I think they're awesome. Um, let's talk about the first one. This is my copy of the first one. This feels really hefty, actually, too. Okay. It's got a couple of things in it. I think it's the DVD discs that are making it feel heavy. Interesting. And what is this? Oh, okay. I think one of the Dark Knight films had one of those. But yeah, I actually love the costume in this one as well. I always find it hard to draw Spider-Man because of the webbing on him. But yeah, I will say the effects haven't aged well in this first one, but it's still a fun time. I love Willem Dafoe as the Green Goblin. I would love to see him play the Joker, but every time he's asked, he's just like, I've already played the part. No, you haven't. So it's not my favorite Spider-Man, but it's the funny thing is, I do think this one's better than three, but I do have a sick part of me that really likes three. Uh, oh man, I love the part in particular in this movie where let's have it out like this. Hopefully nothing, because these are a little far away for me to reach. By the way, because I have to have the camera back if I want to catch all of this. Uh, but I love the wrestling fight scene where you got Randy Savage, Bruce Campbell, and Octavia Spencer. It is really like a scene made in heaven, kind of like what Nostalgia Critic talked about. It's really cool to see all three of them not that far apart, and I like the later fight scene, but the more brutal fight scene between the Green Goblin and Spider-Man. And there's just a lot of quotable lines from this movie. I find Willem Dafoe just really hamming it up, so fun. He does look like a rejected Power Rangers villain, I will say that. His costume's goofy, but there's a charm to it, and there's a charm to the movie as well. There are a lot of fun quotable stuff, even silly quotable stuff, that even dumb quotable stuff. Like, I hunch. I don't know why, but I like saying that to Dave and seeing him laugh at how stupid it is. Just the way Toby says it. Um, of course, a lot of the lines that Willem Dafoe say, back to formula. you know, I'm something of a scientist myself. Um, the itsy bitsy spider went up the water spout. Down came the goblin and took the spider out. I'm gonna have to work on my Willem Dafoe voice because that's probably the one I'm gonna go with. The only other voice I would go with is from like the '90s animated show, and that one's a little probably too goofy. Then again, so's the costume. Uh, but it sounds like kind of like Skeletor in a weird way. I don't know. It has that Skeletor vibe to it where it's high pitched and goofy sounding. Not that that's a bad thing for that, but not my favorite voice for him. I like Willem Dafoe's better. Can But yeah, this is one of the more like this. I will say, even though I do have a soft spot for Spider-Man 3. I think that the this movie's plot you can follow a lot better because that movie has a lot of subplot stuff going on. So I will say this is the more consistent film of those two at least. But it's not my favorite film, and I think a lot of people will agree what the favorite film within the Sam Raimi trilogy is. But yeah, Nostalgia Critic did point out, and I agree with this even today, and even back when I watched it, like it is just uniquely they're just very unique looking superhero movies. They stand out because of the style of them and the crazy, the batshit crazy stuff that goes on in them. Oh, sorry, spider shit crazy. I should use batshit for Batman stuff. But yeah, like the scene where Green Goblin breaks in on Aunt May praying. Yep, that's crazy. You don't see that in any other superhero movie. But I had a lot of fun with all of these movies for various reasons, whether it's for just how stupid they are, like three, or because they're genuinely fun, interesting, and just yeah, you feel the passion and a love for this franchise. Sam Raimi loves the Spider-Man franchise, the Spider-Man IP, and you can feel that through his films. And I thought it was really cool seeing him return not only to do the next Doctor Strange movie, even if the movie wasn't to the par that a lot of people cared for of it, but it was also cool to see Tobey Maguire return as Spider-Man in No Way Home. I should get. The funny thing, I don't own physically the Tom Holland Spider-Man movies, but now I should. I most certainly should own them. I don't know. I just I guess part of the reason is I didn't feel like I was that into his Spider-Man yet, until like No Way Home and such came along. Then I started to get more into it. So I guess that's a reason, if any. All right, this next one is actually let's talk about Spider-Man 3. I always talk about my favorite for last. But as you can tell, there's a sticker I had a hard time trying to get off, by the way. This is the only one that has a sticker on it that's still hard to get off. Probably says something about the film, honestly. Just like with X-Men Last Stand, I actually like the third movie in both franchises, sometimes even better than some of the other films, especially the X-Men one. Because even though the plots and the cohesion of the story and such in the previous two is a lot better done. Let me move this aside so I can put this up. Yeah, that looks great with that sticker. I'll try and get it off. But I just found it a lot of fun, whether it was stupid or not. Of course, I love Thomas. Is it Thomas Hayden Church? I think it's Thomas Hayden Church. I love his Sandman. I think he is a excellent part of the movie. Whenever I see Sandman now, I see him. I loved him in Wings and even what was it, Demon Knight? He's a fun actor. He's a really fun and funny actor. Um, and there's some great serious moments. Of course, the creation of Sandman is really memorable, awesome. A lot of Sandman stuff in this is pretty cool. I do think it's kind of dumb they did the whole. Well, spoiler, just in case. I don't know. It's an old movie, but where he killed Uncle Ben instead. I just found that weird to do. That was the same problem I kind of had with the Batman '89 film, where they didn't have to make Joker the killer of uh, of Bruce Wayne's parents. It was just weird to see them do kind of a similar thing with Sandman. I don't know. I just didn't like that. So, but as well as the way they treated if you're going off of the symbiote storyline from the comic books, the way they treated the symbiote thing here was kind of dumb with emo Spider-Man, but I did enjoy it. The stupid dance scene, and I thought when Venom actually, well, this version of Venom that is looked really cool, and I do like the black costume. The only problem is whenever it's shot as a CG effect, it looks really bad in this movie. But a lot of the CG effects may not hold up, but they're actually really fun and creative. I like a lot of the fight scenes, especially the one with. That's the other thing. There's just so many freaking villains in this. And Harry Osborn, I remember having. I think my brother probably has it now. We have a bunch of Spider-Man figures than this because I had a giant Green Goblin that was probably taller than these buckets are, and a giant Spider-Man figurines. They only had very little movement though, but it was cool to have them, and I loved the metallic paint on the Green Goblin at the time. But we also had New Goblin. God, what a stupid name. A figurine, and we always thought he looked really boring, really stupid. Um, but I do like they continue that plot line with him, and that he becomes the uh, memory wiped like Harry Osborn, where James Franco is being silly. I wrote you a poem in school. Like I do kind of like the happy-go-lucky, silly like Harry Osborn. I think that Nostalgia Critic shares like my same thoughts on Spider-Man 3 as well as X-Men Last Stand. I think they're just both really fun, dumb films that are even more fun than some of the previous films in their respectable franchises. Nowadays, I do kind of get bored at scenes in the first two X-Men, but we're not talking about X-Men. The Spider-Man films, I can have no problem watching, even the first one. Like I can sit back and watch those. I would even sit back and watch them if they were just on TV casually. But yeah, I really loved each of these films. I'm glad I owned them physically. Sony. Gonna throw shade at Sony, especially since like Spider-Man, I believe, is a Sony property. You can correct me if I'm wrong, at least to some extent. Uh, but yeah, I really found this film to be a lot of freaking fun, and I think it gets too much backlash sometimes. I think this was a fun film. I guess for the time, I can see the backlash for when this movie came out. Yeah. And I do think it kind of sucks how they treated the Venom saga. You do have to understand that not only was putting Venom in there something that the studio wanted Sam Raimi to do, but I think Sam Raimi was also just not a fan of the Venom saga, which is weird because his visual style would have worked really well for that, bringing that to life with like almost an Evil Dead quality. And you can even tell there's a lot of Evil Dead kind of vibes from some of the films, besides Bruce Campbell being there, which he has a cameo in all of them. And I do like the one that's in this one where he's like, I am French. But yeah, these are all such quotable movies. And like I said earlier, the dance scene, like, I think it's worth admission just for seeing Emo Parker in this dance scene. All right. And the final film, which, by the way, just like with The Dark Knight, I have two copies of. This one, by the way, is unopened, believe it or not. You can see it's still got the wrapping on all the way around it. So I have an unopened Spider-Man. I actually prefer widescreen whenever I watch a movie, but yeah, that's just me. Tell me which you prefer. But yeah, this would be the one that I would watch. Is the widescreen version. Yeah, I love Spider-Man 2. I still like it's with the new movies it does make it very hard because I love this Into the Spider-Verse, and then you got um No Way Home, you got the new Spider-Man Brand New Day. It does make it really difficult to choose this as my definitive favorite. So if I ever like I think it would just be better to do like a tier list of Spider-Man films. I love that Men in Black is in here and Hellboy and Triple X. Oh, I remember this show. Okay, it's just a pamphlet here. And Doc Ock's Claw. Yep. Is this yeah, this is kind of yeah. Um, but with this movie, I if I do like a list of favorite Spider-Man movies, I would rather do like a tier list because actually, um, that way I can put multiple movies I really like into the S rank, and they can be next to each other. Because I don't know if I would say this is the best Spider-Man now. There are flaws that hold it back from being better than those other ones for sure. But it's my personal like fave, and I think it's a lot of people's personal favorites. I love the Spider-Man. It's one of my favorite superhero movies out there. Um, I think if I had any problems, of course, Mary Jane. I don't get the astronaut dude as well. I think yeah, he's in this one, and it's like he's very pointless. It would have been better if he tied in with the Venom storyline. That would have worked better. Um, oh, why am I not mentioning J.K. Simmons as J. Jonah Jameson in these? I for some reason I don't know why I didn't mention him, but I gotta mention him. That's a crime. I'm sorry, but he's freaking amazing as well. These movies just have some great cast, whether it's Alfred Molina as Doc Ock or you got Bruce Campbell with his cameos, Randy Savage in that one fight scene in the beginning of the first Spider-Man, or one at the beginning, somewhere in the beginning of the first Spider-Man. Bunch of great actors. Willem Dafoe as Green Goblin. Even like Topher Grace is kind of fun as Venom. He's kind of dorky, but fun and ridiculous. Um, Hayden Hayden Church. Man, I always Thomas Hayden Church as Sandman. So bad with names sometimes. But yeah, these movies have just great cast members, and J.K. Simmons is just like you can't unsee him as J. Jonah Jameson. He's just perfect voice, appearance, everything. He's hilarious. Love the laughing meme that came from him. Uh, so many great things. I love the pills scene where he's got to take his pills and his receptionist is just buzzing him. Wrong pills. His table shakes, all the pills spill everywhere. You can tell he wants to just explode in anger. But yeah, he's just freaking hilarious, like a lot of characters are. There's that weird, I also remember that weird deleted scene, I think that's for this one, where he's wearing the Spider Man costume, pretending to be Spider Man. I'm kind of glad they took that out. But you know what? With all the other wacky, crazy stuff that goes on in these Spider-Man films, it really doesn't feel out of place. I mean, if you compare that to the frickin' scene we saw with Aunt May and the Green Goblin, it really isn't that out of place with how ridiculous these films have moments like that. But yeah, this is the best one because of the action. Oh, the Doc Ock's probably the best villain in these. Alfred Molina. You finally have like a doughy villain as well. I remember Nostalgia Critic bringing that up. He's just a lot of fun in this too, and it's like all the villains are great in these movies. I think they did a great job. The only one that you can semi say isn't that great. Well, maybe two. Though Harry Osborn does have character development leading to why he would become New Goblin. I wish he was Hobgoblin or just Green Goblin again. It's kind of stupid. New Goblin, boring costume. Um, but yeah, with that version of Venom is one of the weaker parts of those movies. So it is sad to see. It is a cool looking Venom though. Ugh, get down here. Yeah, um, I do really like this Venom. Yeah, he's not my Venom. I'm sorry, but man, is Alfred Molina a perfect Doctor Octopus though? Harness the power of the sun in the palm of my hand. Man, these movies have great parts. I love the clearly Evil Dead callback scene where, by the way, this guy doesn't want to sit for some reason. This is an old ass figure, by the way. This guy and him, these are old ass figures that I still have. It's crazy, but my brother has all the other ones. So, but I love the Evil Dead sequence where the surgeons are trying to cut off the tentacles from his back, and it just turns it into an entire crazy Evil Dead sequence where the giant metal tentacles start killing everybody in like horror movie fashion. You even have a woman clawing the floor at one scene. Um, yeah, the action is so good in this. Every time Doc Ock and Spider Man fight, or even when Doc Ock's like throwing a car in a scene or something, it just looks really good. It's really good. Um, Man, yeah, this is one of my personal favorite Spider Man movies. Only problem is the stuff surrounding the son of J. Jonah Jameson and Mary Jane. Though I do kind of like her last look uh, at the end of the film, and that they do kind of follow up on giving better character development to both her and Peter Parker in the third movie. So that is an upside to the third one that I will give it. But yeah, with the Venom stuff, it does kind of bring it down a little bit. But I love all three of these movies. I think they're excellent movies. Uh, and yeah, I don't know how I would review these. Like, I don't see myself as a good, like, movie reviewer. So I don't really, like, bother with movie reviewing. Every time I review something, I just I don't know always what to say without repeating myself. But hey, at least I'm not as bad as Watch Mojo. I actually wanted to talk about Watch Mojo more recently because I just see Watch Mojo weirdly as AI before AI. I don't know why Watch Mojo has so many followers. Like, I just don't get that. Because Watch Mojo is honestly really boring to me. Because here's an example. Whenever somebody makes a top 10 list, I imagine somebody gushing about their favorite or even ranting about their least favorite things, depending on what the list is. I just imagine people feeling human when they want to talk about those things. They're like, oh, I'm pissed off at this, or I love this, and I want to gush forever about it and why I love it. Like, I feel like those are genuine top tens, but when I've seen Watch Mojo videos, they feel lifeless and robotic. It feels like committee wrote their script, or their scripts came out of a machine that just found that went through a bunch of the most popular voted things and then spit it out for them to read in their video. And they just chose. It never felt like there was a human connection to why Watch Mojo picked what they picked for their top tens. It just felt really stupid, and especially with the latest stuff of Watch Mojo with the AI music and such, I especially don't like them. I always felt like they were just very robotic channel, and I never got why people liked them to begin with. So I know that's random to bring up in this, but that just reminded me of them and what I just said to get into that conversation. But yeah, just really stupid. Freaking never got Watch Mojo, and I actually wanted to make a video, but I'll just talk briefly here about them, because why not? Just frick Watch Mojo. Why the frick do they fricking exist? Frick them, frick this, frick everything. By the way, his head is it's very, very, it's never gonna fall off. I know it won't fall off. It's actually on there pretty good. But yeah, and he's an older figure, so it makes sense that he would be like that. Wonder if I can get him to stand. Oh, yeah, you can see how. Can I get him to stand? I don't know if I can get him to stand. But yeah, I can do this. Does that work? I'd have to hold him though. Ah, he's still got all his joints working. Yeah. Oh, there we go. There. Watch him fall over though. Yep, there he goes. Yeah. Love that his fingers move individually too. Yeah. I think this is one of my favorite Spider-Man franchises. I'm glad it exists. Oh man, and I just remembered the Andrew Garfield ones. I will say that even though the Andrew Garfield ones don't really have that much personality like the Sam Raimi ones, uh, I think that the first one's good enough. It does feel like every other like film slash superhero film of the time, but I think it's good enough. I hate the way the lizard looks in it, though. I will say that, and I'm not a fan of the costume either. Even though it is a little bit more believable, maybe that it would look like that, since Peter Parker isn't like an amazing costume designer. And you do buy him more as like this as the Spider-Man from the comic books a little bit more. He's more of a Spider-Man. Though they put him in school again, which is weird, and especially high school. But then there's Spider-Man, Amazing Spider-Man 2 movie with Andrew Garfield. While Andrew Garfield isn't bad, once again, I do think everything surrounding that movie, as well as some of the other stuff going on, is terrible. And it is sadly, most definitely, one of the worst Spider-Man movies of all the Spider-Man movies. But just be glad that he only really has one bad Spider-Man movie. Because, yeah, Spider-Man wouldn't make it as far as he did if he had more bad Spider-Man films. People would see Spider-Man 3 as a bad one, but Spider-Man 3 is not nearly as bad, and it's at least fun. Oh, hello, Venom, falling over. But, yeah, I still enjoy that film. Venom's trying to tell us something. But I think that will do it for this. I will try and do this comic book reading for next time. Sorry, I hit the camera. And I will see you next time. I hope you enjoyed. Sorry this video went on longer than the other ones. I guess there was more to talk about, even though there should have been for the Dark Knight one. But I will see you next time. Bye-bye.
Yeah, that's about it. See ya.
Goodbye, Spider-Man. Can you come out to play?